Former U.S. Marine and an expert in the field of mental toughness and emotional intelligence. You've probably seen him on Fox, CNN, NBC, ABC. Eric Rittmeyer. What's going on, Eric?
Rob, what's up, brother? What's up, guys? Good to be back. Thanks for having me.
Good to have you back, man. If we ever needed a lesson in mental toughness and emotional intelligence, it is right now, man. Eric,
good pull, Joe, too.
You've seen some things, Eric. What makes this time right now so tough for people, especially people who haven't seen, maybe military battle and things like that? It's a tough time we're in right now.
Yeah, it's pure insanity now, Rob. I feel like we're kind of getting to the point where it's almost like when we're younger and it's like you have these snowstorms and, nobody wants to go back to school. It's like, please let it snow so we don't have to go back to school. I'm deep down starting to believe a lot of people don't want to get back to work. I hate to say this, but it's like anytime anybody breathes anything about the economy getting back to normal, they start yelling and screaming, and it's like I think what people have to understand is, and I keep hearing this thing where people are saying, well, we're all in the same boat, but we're really not. We're all in the same storm. We're not in the same boat. Some of us came into this riding on our super yachts. Some of us came riding on our inflatable rafts that have 3 holes with one little paddle. So to say we're all in the same storm, to say we're on the same boat is not true. There are lots of people that are dealing with this, and they're having a very difficult time mentally. We got to get to start back to normal and stop being so angry with each other because we want to get back to work.
Yeah, that's an issue too with the hostility with people. I had one of my elastic straps broke on my surgical mask, and I had it off. And you would think, it was Ted Bundy. The way it was getting looked at. But what about people return? Like, hopefully we get back, because I think, there comes a time when, first you tell me that we're going to flatten the curve. Okay, I'll stay in for 2 weeks. Then it was a month. Now it's 2 months. Now it's more than 2 months. You didn't say I was staying in until it was a cure. Now this is enough. That's hopefully they open this up. But what about the return to work, like when you've been traumatized? Because as Rob said, a lot of people have been terrified by this. They've never had, any kind of obstacle in their life or any kind of real adversity. This has been different. What about the people that now say, okay, go? How are they going to deal with this?
Yeah, and that's a military thing, and even with the police, you being the police, we know this. It's improvise, adapt, and overcome. It's what we do. So when we're faced with an issue, we improvise, we adapt, we overcome. Whatever the issue is, doesn't matter. Could be at home, could be at work, could be anywhere. In this situation, again, what we asked people to do was to suppress this thing that we're innately hardwired to do, which is connect. So we're like, hey, everybody, stop connecting, stay at home, watch TV, eat bad, drink alcohol. Now it's like, okay, we got to start getting back, because now as more facts come out, we're all fact-based people here. When we start looking at the facts, we can start to say, maybe we did address this the incorrect way. Initially, when we knew nothing about it, yeah, let's do what we got to do. But once more facts start to come out, why are we quarantining 100% of the nation when it's really 5 to 10% that are the most adversely impacted by this disease? Why don't we quarantine them and tell everybody else, hey, just be normal, but, don't go licking doorknobs, but keep your distance, do whatever, but let's just accept some personal responsibility as opposed to you can't come out of your house. It's crazy.
Eric, public conduct. Not everyone seems to have the same belief as you were just saying, whether it be wearing a mask or socially distancing, but how do you act accordingly when you're in public? What would you suggest?
It's funny. It's funny yesterday. I was out at a restaurant. I went to do the pickup, whatever, and we're all standing 6 feet apart. And this lady's in front of me in the restaurant, and the lady behind the counter comes up to pay for the food. She hands her the receipt, and the lady's like, "I'm not signing that. I'm not touching that." And what I felt like saying was, lady, if you're that miserable and that angry, don't come out of your house to yell at people. Stay at home and yell at your microwave. If you're going to be that angry, why are you bringing your misery out here? So it's like when you deal with these people, you just have to, number one, you have to understand your triggers and know that when you go out somewhere, if you're not in a full-blown suit, rubber suit from head to toe, somebody's going to look at you and look dirty at you and think something and probably say something. You just got to brush it off. And it's easier said than done. But what's the end objective here? Are you going to get upset and get into a fist fight for somebody because they hand you a receipt for your chicken nuggets? I mean, come on. So the military piece of me, again, is to improvise, adapt, and overcome. We're handling this. We're dealing with this. But we have to control our emotions, which is what mental toughness is all about. It's emotional control. It's the ability to suppress these things that we really want to say and do, but know that, hey, if I say these things and do these things, I'm going to end up in jail. I'm going to need Ed to come bail me out.
Here with Eric Rittmeyer, former U.S. Marine. Eric, you talk about adapting, adjusting, and overcoming, and it's because, it's something you've done before. I'm former military, former law enforcement, maybe something that I can do. But there's some people out there right now who this is getting to them. I mean, they feel like the walls are closing in. So what would you say to that person? That person's not angry. That person wants to get back to work. What would you say to that person?
Absolutely. Yeah. What I say to them, Rob, is they cannot allow fear to control them, which is what this is boiling down to right now. We're just comatose with fear. And for what reason? I mean, if you really look at the stats, if you look at the people with this disease who are dying, these are people who have underlying health conditions. These are people who have comorbidities. These are the people, like the younger people who get it and don't even know they had it. So is there a risk? Yes. Do you have to be careful? Absolutely you do. But to stay in your house comatose because you're afraid that you're going to touch the doorknob and somebody on the other side touch it and you're going to get sick, we cannot allow fear to control us, and the media is very good at this. This is what's happened with our media. They've stricken the whole nation with fear. Do not do this, do not do that. We cannot go back to work. You got Dr. Fauci saying we're all going to die. It's like, come on, man, this is crazy. Like, at some point, we have to look at the facts here and say, are people dying? Yes. But the odds of you getting sick are very, very minimal. Until we go out and get sick, until we go out and build immunity to this, it's going to pop its head back out come October, November. That's the scary part.
Yeah, but you hit on the head though. They've done, just like the woman who wouldn't touch the receipt. They've done such an amazing job, and the medical community too. And I blame Fauci for part of this because, it started off we're going to flat. First off, he's telling people in the beginning you have more to fear from the flu, and all this, and then this hits, and we don't know a lot about it, so they decide to do that, and then we're going to flatten the curve, and now it's like we shouldn't come out till we have a vaccine. I mean, you can understand why people are terrified.
At some point, we have to understand that we are adults. We are humans. We have brains that function. We have frontal lobes that give us the ability to assess information and make decisions based on our best scenario. Just because President Trump talks about drinking Lysol doesn't mean you go out and drink Lysol. Like, let's have some personal responsibility here. I mean, we're not robots. So just because somebody says, well, it's not this, it's not that, we can make our own decisions. We don't have to rely on a medical doctor to tell us that we have to stay in our house. Again, should we be careful? Absolutely. But at some point, we have to peel back this fear and this scare and to say, you know what, I got to do what I got to do. But again, I hate to say this. I do feel like, because I do a lot of radio, a lot of people get very upset with me. I do feel like there's a pretty large subset of people who really don't want things to get back to normal. I hate to say that.
I totally believe that, though. I do. Again, people get angry at me too. I believe there's a core of people that has a vested interest in things never getting back to normal.
Right. Then it's like then you fall into the if you're not, then you are. So I do these radio shows. I hear this like, if you're not for gun control, then you want babies to die. If you're not for social distancing, you want old people to die. And it's like, if you're not, then you are. It's like, no, there's a way to do both. We entered into this from what I refer to as a single variable analysis. We entered into this pandemic saying protect health, protect physical health, which is great. But at the expense of everything else that we've done, a destroyed stock market, jobs, over 30 million jobs lost. They're thinking about 40% of those jobs never come back. Like, how do you assess that damage? I get it. Let's protect ourselves. But to say we're now getting in the months into this, it's time to get going again. And you know what? Once we open back up, if you don't want to go out, don't go out. Hogan's not making you go out of your house. He's saying now you can. So if you don't want to, don't. But for the people who want to get out and have to get out and have families, mouths to feed, let's not shame them and say they're horrible killers and they don't care about grandma. They want grandma to die because I'm going out to work. That's crazy talk.
Eric, you're right. Enter at your own risk.
At your own risk. Don't drink Lysol just because President Trump said it. Drink it anyway. Hey, the people that want to drink it, who listen to him and truly are going to drink it, knock yourself out. We need some reductions in our population. If you're really going to go out and drink Lysol, go knock yourself out.
Eric, man, how can folks find you on social media?
Thanks, I appreciate that, Rob. Yeah, my website's bestmentaltoughness.speaker.com. I'm over Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, catching lots of hate on there. So you can find me anywhere online. I appreciate that, brother.
Thanks a lot. Eric Rittmeyer, former U.S. Marine.
I prefer my Lysol on the rocks, by the way.